and let's attack this first question. So the question here reads, what is the total number of gems? Okay, remember, first things first, read that question. What is it that we are trying to achieve? So what is the total number of gems? Everybody, can we confirm that that's what we're looking for? The total number of gems? Okay, sounds good. Cool. So that's what we want. Now, let's translate the English into math. Let's see what it is that we're dealing with in this case. Here we go. It says, a secret cache is found where 30% of the total gems is 42. 30% of the total gems is 42. Let me go ahead and write that out for us. 30% of, so 30% times the total gems. Okay, let's write total gems is 42. Everybody, can we confirm that this is written down correctly? Where, again, the percentage of the original total gems is equals 42. Has this been written down correctly? Good. Now notice, these numbers could have been totally different. This could have been 17.59%. Yeah, that would have been a headache, but it's just a number. The 42 could have been 95,623. Just a number. But neither of those numbers are what we actually focused on. We focused on the positioning of the numbers and how it made sense in terms of the sentence itself. Is anybody here understanding where I'm coming from when I say that? Where it's not about what the numbers are, it's about what the numbers mean, the context, the story. Good. And even if your answer there is a little bit, that's still better than nothing. Let's keep fostering that. So with that said, I hope at this point we realize that we are working backwards. We already have the result. We already have the result. So what we're trying to do is get the original value, the original number, the original total. And to do that, we've got to divide. So this is where, again, the money's made. By understanding what we're looking for, what we have, so we can see the path to getting what we're looking for. With that said, everybody, let's go ahead. Tell me in the chat box, we are using what operation? Yes, we are going to divide. Great job. As a group collectively, great job so far, everybody. So let's go ahead here and get it done. 30%, let's turn that into a decimal. We're going to move that decimal over twice to the left, which will give us once, twice. So we can write this down as 0.30. But like I said earlier, everybody, for the purpose of saving time, what's another way that we can write the 0.30? 0.3. Yeah, correct. Correct. I'm going to save time by shaving off that extra 0 at the end. No need for that. So 0.3 times the total gems equals 42. With that, everybody, will divide now, like we said we would. So here we go. Divide 0.3 on the left and the right sides respectively. And with that, boom, it's going to cancel out on the left side. And now all we have to do is figure out what 42 divided by 0.3 is. But really, I don't want to divide by 0.3. I'm not a big fan of decimals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the decimal place on the bottom and the top by the same number of places. So here on the bottom, with the way that we see it here, not 0.30, but 0.3. How many times are we moving that decimal place in this circumstance? Yeah, in this specific circumstance, if you had 0.30, that's twice. Here with just 0.3, you only got to do it once. Remember, the goal is to get a whole number. And so since it's just 0.3, moving it once is all we need to do. And that's the beauty of it. That's the advantage you get. So now we just have to move it one time as well on the top. And again, everybody, pop quiz. What do we put in that blank space? That's going to be 0. So with that, everybody, we have 42 divided by 0.3. It is the same as 420 divided by 3. Now this becomes so much more doable. Here we go. Here's the long division. Let's wrap things up. 3 going into 420 is going to give us 3 goes into 4 one time. 1 times 3 is going to be 3, so we'll subtract that, getting 1 left over. Then we have 2 to drag down. Everybody, 3 goes into 12. How many times? That's going to be 4 times. Perfect. And so that is a clean 4 times, no remainder. And since we just have a 0 at the end, it is 140. That is our final answer. And the correct answer for this question will be B. So I'm going to highlight B as the correct answer, but I want to do one thing before I move on. I want to show you what would have happened if instead of doing it by 0.3, we divided by 0.30. Is anybody here interested in seeing that before we continue? Good. Yeah, I figured a lot of us would, so I got you. No worries, guys. So we have the 42 divided by, let's say it was 0.30. So in this circumstance, if we have it like this and we don't want to change it, what math says is we have to move this twice to the right. And so if we move it twice to the right, on the top, we got to move it twice to the right. And just like we did before, everybody, what are we going to put in those blank spaces? Correct. We're going to be placing zeros. So 0 there and 0 there. So this makes it 4,200 divided by 30. I'm going to prove to you that this is going to get us the same exact answer as this over here. So let's go ahead and show it. 30 into 4,200. Right here and there. 30 goes into 4. It doesn't, but 30 goes into 42 one time. 1 times 30 gives us 30. Subtract, and we get 12 left over. So we have to drop that 0 right there. So 30 into 120, everybody. How many times does that happen? Yeah, that'll be 4 times. Correct. So we have that as 14 so far. We subtract, oh, that's a clean 120, so that's great. And then we have a 0 left at the end. So we just tack that 0 on at the end. Everybody, did our correct answer change? Did our correct answer change? Nope, it didn't. Get the same exact answer both ways. Just know that if you shave off any extra zeros in a decimal at the end, you're good because you notice that you're dealing with smaller numbers. And that's the only reason why I suggested it, because again, it's always easier to deal with less. So let me zoom on out, my party people. Where's our confidence at relative to the beginning of class, my party people? Where is that confidence at? Is it better? Is it worse? Is it the same? You tell me. There we go. Good. Good. Even if it's 1 point better on a scale of 100, it's still progress. If there's anything that you can repeat, say to yourself, or reaffirm to yourself, like the formulas, main ideas, or circumstances like dividing by decimals or multiplying by decimals, those are always going to be wins. So with that, everybody, are you ready for the next problem?